News at Noon is brought to you from the pages of the Daily Herald and www.heraldextra.com. Utah Valley's #1.
Welcome to the Pat Sheranian Show. Thank you so much for joining us today on Pat.Utah Valley Live and on KHQN 1480 AM. Big announcement today, if you haven't figured it out, we're at the end of the year, and starting next week, a whole brand new year and a whole brand new lineup. I have a guest hosts that will be coming in every day at this time, 12 to 1. They're going to be running and conducting and hosting their own shows. I have one show that I'll be hosting next Wednesday, but otherwise, from 12 to 1, you'll be meeting new personalities. Also from 9 to 10, a new personality there. Be sure and give her some of your support by joining in. Monica Barber will be on from 9 to 10 every day, daily. The other folks will be on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, hosting their own shows from 12 to 1, and I am moving to 1 to 2. So I will be on the air 1 to 2 coming up this next year, and it'll be fun. I've got new people coming aboard, new and interesting things happening. And my guest today is so full of adventure, we're going to have a great time and see if we can transport at least your mind to Alaskan adventures. So good morning and good afternoon, and hello to the end of the year, Kelly Clark.
Thank you. Good morning.
And we're going to be talking about what he's been doing. He's full of adventure, a true entrepreneur. And so we're going to talk about some of his experiences and some things to come. I'm looking at pictures of a moose bigger than a car, for goodness sake. So the adventures are going to be there. So we'll be right back. We're going to listen to a couple of ads, and then we'll be back with you. So stay with us.
Hi, this is Julia Curry. Join me on KHQN 1480 AM on Mondays from noon to 1 o'clock. Exciting things are happening in Utah Valley, and there's much to talk about. I'll have a variety of guests each week discussing current issues, entertainment, and events specific to Utah Valley. So tune in and tell your friends. You never know who will be sharing the microphone with me, but I guarantee we're going to have a good time. That's the Julia Curry Show, Monday, noon to 1 o'clock, right here on KHQN 1480 AM. Hi.
Are you an athlete looking for a natural boost to your workout? Have you studied up on the benefits of nitric oxide production to your performance? Then you'll want to try Kyani's Nitro Extreme. Nitro Extreme promotes cardiovascular health and improved blood flow, supports muscle contraction and relaxation, as well as nerve transmission. I use Nitro Extreme right before I lift weights, and I've never been stronger in my entire life. If you don't try Nitro Extreme, you'll never know what you're missing. Call 801-362-9552 to order yours today. That's 801-362-9552.
Okay, welcome. We are back, and you heard Julia Curry's commercial, and you will be playing other promos around the station of people coming up, as I mentioned, 9 to 10 a.m. daily. And also the daily Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we'll have different hosts from 12 to 1, and I'll be on from 1 to 2. All right, Kelly, let's talk about you. I am looking at this giant moose, for crying out loud. It looks like a car. We'll see if Kelly can, our board operator, if she can get a picture of this. It's really an amazing, can you see? Yeah, there it is. Is that a moose? Hold it there for just a minute, Kelly. You want to talk about this thing?
Yeah, basically I wasn't planning on taking a moose on that trip because I was only going to take one animal, and I'd got a caribou the day that we arrived at the lodge. And the day before we left, I came out of one of the guest cabins heading towards the kitchen. I heard a moose chirp over in the trees. So I decided to try to call a moose. I'd never called one before. I've only called elk, and I called about 15 minutes, nothing happened. Next thing I knew, I was headed back to the cabin. He popped out 15 feet in front of me, right in front of the kitchen of the cabin, and he was definitely a nice big trophy, so I took him.
Wow. I mean, you could have been killed, right?
No.
You don't think?
No.
Where's the one in the water? Where's oh, I'm going to show this one too, but there was one you had with this moose that swam past you. Yeah. Kelly, come back in on this. This is just, and we're going to talk about where this is. And where you can have such an adventure. All right, tell the story of this little guy. Woo! Look at that.
We have a lake that we just acquired some property on that's never been fished before, that's got like 4-foot pike in it. We were out there on a raft just kind of testing the waters a little bit and doing some fishing for grayling off the surface because it was boiling with them. And this moose came out to get a drink and was just kind of drinking on the side, and we're fishing away. And the next thing you know, he looks right at us, decides he's going to swim across the lake, and swam within 10 feet of us. just staring at us the whole time as he swam across the entire lake.
All right, for the radio audience, you want to tell us about how big these antlers are and what size this thing was and what he might have weighed?
When that one was fully grown, he would have been really big. He's actually just barely starting to grow there. That was early in the year, way early. He had several months to go. He probably would have been about a 70, I'd say a good 70-inch moose when he was done, probably 1,500 pounds.
Not something you want to tangle with.
No, they're big animals. And yeah, that one I took last year was my first moose, and they're monsters.
Well, we're going to pull up your website and see what you've got online that we can take a look at. There's another picture here on the table where you're holding, is this salmon?
Yeah, that's a king.
Absolutely beautiful. And I'm looking at the natural color of pink.
Mm-hmm.
That we don't see much of that unless it's a sockeye salmon out of the Alaskan waters. They're not pink. They're a strange, ugly color, and people put color in them when you buy them.
Yeah, the king salmon in Alaska, they're bright red like that. And these salmon have traveled about 500 miles of water before they actually get to the lodge.
Wow.
So they went on quite a journey to come back home to basically spawn. So.
All right, we're going to talk about you first. How the world did you get into this? Now, we all like adventure, and we all think about doing something, and we think about going somewhere, but some of us don't ever do it, and certainly we wouldn't. I'm looking at this wonderful little cabin, that they're individual little cabins that you have. So let's talk about you first, then we're going to get back to all this fun stuff. Well, it's probably fun to talk about you. Sorry about that.
That's fine. Both could be fun.
Oh, well, okay. So where were you born and raised?
Salt Lake City.
Okay, went to school where?
I started actually when I was first born, we shortly after that moved to Colville, Utah, which is a very small town. I was up there until I was about 15. Then we moved to Salt Lake, went to Cypress High School.
Okay.
And then from Cypress High School, I took off in the business world and been an entrepreneur since.
Well, you said 17 you started your first business. What was that?
I actually started I was just a subcontractor under a company called Phone Directories Company that used to do a phone book here in Provo. That's where I started working for them at that time, and I built probably 14, 15 businesses since then.
Any that we would not know about or would want to?
Yeah, you would definitely know about the local pages, which is one of your local phone books here.
Is that the small one?
Yeah, that's the little one. We always make sure our books are smaller. They sit on top. Very good phone
books. So you
books.
Started that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Provo is one of the tougher markets. There's way too many phone books here, and it's kind of a mess here, but we do all right with it, and we'll keep growing into it and doing good with it.
Good. Anything else?
I've started an apartment rental business. I've got a music business that started 2 years ago now that's growing around the country. It's musicthatpays.com. That's a pretty interesting venture. We've got people that are out on tour all the time, artists out there.
So how does
doing
that
their
work?
thing. What that one is it's nowadays artists really starve on selling their music, but this one has a layer on it to where if people buy music from the network, they actually can endorse the music they like, and then they get paid off the future sales of that music. So that helps drive sales a little bit on that one. That's a pretty neat thing.
And you actually put that thing together?
Mm-hmm. Yep, just dove into it, started it from scratch. I started the theory on it back in around October of 2009. We actually opened the doors on that January of 2010, and keeps growing to this day. We've got people involved as far as from Hawaii to Florida to Washington. So
really?
And we've actually had a couple lately that have jumped in from other countries, but we haven't actually crossed the language barriers on our sites or nothing yet to where we can accommodate that yet.
Do you build the sites or you have the idea?
No, we have people in-house that actually do all this stuff for me too. I've got very good programmers.
You go out and raise the money to make all this happen?
Yep, by hard work.
Just hard work.
Hard work.
You know, people talk about being an entrepreneur because they have a lot of ideas, but there's a lot of time and energy between that idea and getting it out to the public.
Yeah,
it takes a lot of money.
I work 10 times harder than most any person that works for me. I can guarantee you that.
Really? To make it happen? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, so what were you doing when you said one day, I think I'll go to Alaska?
Well, I started phone books under the local pages up in Alaska, and I just really, Alaska has a draw on everybody. They just love it up there. I've been going there since 1989. I bought a residence up there. I reside between there and Utah. I kind of bounce back and forth depending on what I'm doing.
Let's tell them what part. Where are you?
I actually have a residence in Anchorage, Alaska, and then this lodge that I've got is 180 miles west of Anchorage out in the bush. So And then our phone books cover everywhere in Alaska, so I'm all over.
With,
I know every nook and
with
cranny
one
it.
of these things or the
One
other.
of these things, yep. I'm on the go and busy.
Well, I know when I called and asked you to come on the air with me that you really had to think about the time, and we put it off almost a whole month.
Yep.
And to find the time that you were going to be standing still somewhere, and that we could get you on the air. So you now you mentioned other businesses. Are you overseeing more than two or three? There are two that you've mentioned.
Yeah, but I've got key people around me that they definitely are on the ball and take care of a lot of these things now. I've got to that level at least. That's the hardest part with owning your own business, is getting your right and left hands going to work.
But you're not old
They'll do
enough
their
to have
job.
done all these things.
Yeah, I'm actually 40.
Oh,
I've
yeah?
been pushing it since I was 17, so that's a lot of
You
years.
and you're making it happen. You're making
Yep.
it work for you.
Yep.
You've mentioned that you found a place up in Alaska. What took you up there? Was it the weather? Was it the people? Was it the scenery? The adventure of it?
Well, what took me up there is probably the common sense of what happens in the world. People either have time or money. And the harder that I worked, the more I was able to get money, but never had time. So we end up kind of buying our time. So basically what I was
That's a
looking
good
for...
way to put it.
Yeah, so I was basically looking for seclusion. I dug as deep as I could to find the most secluded places that I possibly could. Alaska was such a draw on me that that's what I felt was there, and reached out as remote into the middle of nowhere where there's no roads as I possibly could, and found a place and picked it up, and that became my home where I go get away from the internet and the cell phones and recharge my batteries so I can come back into the business world and keep doing my thing.
Okay, we're going to go to a commercial break, Kelly, here, if we can, because when we come back, I want him to take a lot of time and talk to us about this going out in the bush. Now, you've heard me say on the air that my idea of roughing it is the penthouse of the Marriott Hotel without enough towels. So the idea of flying into the bush is something so totally foreign. Actually, I used to go camping when my children were younger in the Sequoias in California. But it's pretty tame. You've got a lot of amenities around you that you don't feel like you're really totally out into the bush.
Yep.
And so we're going to talk about that, because I think you have to have a different mindset to go where you're completely away from all communication.
You do.
So we're going to find out what's inside your head, okay?
Yep.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Thanks for listening to our broadcast. Please do us a favor and take a moment to call, text, or email your friends and family and let them know about this show. We're live on this radio station, KHQN AM 1480, and on UtahValleyLive.com, where this show will be archived for later viewing. Also, Utah Valley Live is seeking additional programming for our growing network, talk shows about religion or politics, how-to shows, and more. Go to UtahValleyLive.com and send us your contact information and the type of show you would like to broadcast.
I'm Diana Hoffman, host of Healing Talk Radio. Everything you thought you knew about the brain is changing. There's an explosion of new research about how to repair our minds, heal our emotions, and enhance our relationships. Join me every Friday at noon as we interview top experts, review books, and debate the controversies. Healing Talk broadcasts live on KHQN 1480 AM and video streams at UtahValleyLive.com. For information, go to HealingTalkRadio.com.
Okay, we're right back. I'm Pat Sheranian. My guest today is Kelly Clark. He is just absolutely full of adventure and daring. Absolutely daring. He started businesses when he was 17 and has a number of them still running, and decided in the middle of it he wanted to go out in the bush, and that's what I want to talk about. When you tell me you're 180 miles away from everywhere, I'm not quite sure how I would behave if I couldn't get to a telephone. So let's talk about what happens, excuse me, what happens inside of your head. I want to know, you just said, okay, I'm fed up, I've had enough. And so when you go out to 180, how do you get there if there are no roads?
Well, we fly in by Cessna, which is a small airplane, usually.
So you come into
4 passengers.
Anchorage?
Yeah, we can either come in through Anchorage by Cessna, or you can fly into McGrath, Alaska, commercially, and then come into the lodge. From Anchorage, it's 180 miles. From McGrath, it's 75 miles.
And then you come in by small plane?
Yes.
And it's twin engine Cessna?
Yes. Well, it depends. You can actually do both, but usually it's single engine.
And that takes you just a few minutes then?
It's about an hour-and-a-half flight from Anchorage,
Okay.
across some real neat terrain. We're only about 40 minutes from McGrath when we go in that way.
One of the things that you mentioned is that you wanted to get away and kind of be out amongst the animals and things. And so I was going to ask, and so I will. What kind of animals do you see or that are on your property?
There's wolf, there's wolverine. You've got all your small animals like your ptarmigan and your
Wait,
porcupines, things
what's
like that.
Ptarmigan?
It's a bird.
What? You've got a picture of a bird sitting on your head.
Yeah, these ones. Oh shoot, I can't think of what the name of these are. These are just real friendly little birds that hang out there and come and sit on your. They'll sit on your head and sit there in the palm of your hand, and they're just like your best friend when you're out there.
How about the wolf?
The wolves
You
are.
give them plenty of room?
Yeah, they're. You don't see them that often. Like when I took that moose, the night that I actually took that moose, we pulled the remains of the moose about 300 yards over in the trees, and a wolf pack got onto it the same night, which is pretty darn rare. We actually flew out the next morning, so I never went in and seen the wolves or pursued them. There's a lot of wolf track around, but they're pretty dang elusive. We had one alpha male that kept coming around the lodge that people would see, but he stuck to himself and just kept kind of appearing here and there.
What else is up there?
You've got the moose, the caribou, you've got bison, you've got bighorn sheep, you've got king salmon, a broad black bear, the grizzly bears, very broad range of animals.
No, I don't want to be where they're grizzly bears.
Oh, the grizzlies won't hurt you. You just don't get between them and food. That's the rule.
You have something. So, do they come around the lodge?
No, it's very rare to see a grizzly at the lodge.
Okay,
Very
so
rare.
if I'm looking at this, the lodge is somewhere near water.
Yeah, the lodge is actually down nestled in the pine tree area by the big river itself on a riverfront.
And then there are individual lodges?
Yeah,
Or individual cabins?
Yeah, we've got guest cabins there, and we've got some future plans that's happening there for some other properties around the country out there.
And the lodge will accommodate, I mean, how many people can you accommodate right now? I know you're enlarging constantly.
We could take 7-8 people out there pretty comfortably right now and cater to them on the whole thing.
And you bring in all the food, you bring in everything, and who's the cook for all of this?
We actually have somebody with us that will do it.
That
We take
handles
care of
all of
everything.
that?
Yep, they just come out to relax and really experience
So have you had the first group up there yet?
I've taken people that I know, coworkers. I haven't actually officially brought in any public yet. I plan on doing that for the first time this next summer. That's why I'm going to start booking.
Summer coming up in 12, okay.
Yep.
And so you're getting ready for all of that, because I'm looking at this cabin. Did you build this, or
No, these were
there?
These were built about 15 years ago.
And they have what, one room?
Yeah, they're one-room cabins. They've got like this one has two beds in it, and then we've got one that's got 4 beds, and then another one's got 4 beds, and then we have a main kitchen cabinet where everybody gets together to play games or eats or whatever they want to do in there.
Would that be the lodge, the main lodge? Yeah. And
Yep.
how large is that?
Oh
lodge?
boy, size-wise, it's probably only maybe 40 foot by 30 foot, but still decent size. We're building a great big lodge. We're starting some construction stuff this June actually in some other
You have
areas
to bring
up there.
everything in.
Oh yeah, we have to bring it all in. In fact, we've got quite
Is there a road?
No, there's no roads out there. In fact, we've got a real fun adventure coming up in June. We're actually going to be taking a couple Argos with trailers and a boat, because we can actually boat up the big river, which nobody's ever done it, but we've got a jet type of a boat that'll skim on the surface with 3 inches of water. It'll haul a couple thousand pounds. So what we're going to do?
On the water?
Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to navigate that river with construction equipment and all kinds of stuff, plus the Argos will assist to make sure we get in there safe. The Argos are going to be in there doing some logging projects and
Argo?
different things. Argos are amphibious vehicles that basically float on water. They've got 8 wheels.
Okay.
They'll pretty well go
So
anywhere.
you can go out of the water?
Yeah, you can truck right through a lake and crawl out the other side and just keep on going.
Oh, my goodness.
Yep.
Oh, heavens. Did you dream this when you were a young kid, or did the dreams just develop as you went along?
It just molded as I went along.
This is a far distance from creating a phone book.
Yeah, this is where I go recharge my batteries. I take a step back in time and life and go to the seclusion and turn everything off and really you find
Okay.
yourself then.
Did you find the website? Can we pull that up and take a look and see what we got there, and where this person's out there? I want to hear about the fishing. I used to do fishing, but it was on the Atlantic coast down at the beach for the most part, although there are a lot of lakes in the... What is that?
That's a
brown
grizzly.
bear, yes. Now, did you take the picture?
No, that one, I'm not sure who took that one. Some of these I would have. Like that's one of my computer programmers, actually, that I took up to the lodge with me.
Okay.
So then he came back and set up our website and got that started.
That's great. So people can find this website by going to
There's a couple
BigRiverAlaska.com.
Yeah, that'd be the easiest one, and they can actually email info@BigRiverAlaska.com if they have any questions.
Okay, info, BigRiverAlaska.com.
Mhm.
Okay. And is there a phone number that you said you have a local number? Let's give that a couple of times.
Yeah, they could reach me at 801-209-2487. That's a cell phone where I could be caught.
Okay, 801-209-2487. What is your anticipation as far, I mean, people like to go with couples and maybe 6 or 7. And as you're planning all of this and you're looking at it, are you thinking 30 people, 60 people, or are you going to keep it small groups?
Or you mean for one group or for
Yeah.
the summer?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
we'll keep the groups real small, and when we actually get our main lodge built that we're going to build down the road, we'll have more of a commercial type of system to take people in and out of there, and we'll have a restaurant out there, some pool tables, a bar, all kinds of neat things, plus about 7 or 8 guest cabins spread out over about a 25-mile area with trail systems and that, and then we'll
That is really secluded.
oh yeah.
Your cabin is really secluded.
Oh yeah, yep, very very secluded. And then we'll do either we'll go with people on their 4-wheeler adventures and their hunting and fishing adventures, or we can just turn them loose, make sure they've got all the right safety equipment like sat phone to call out on emergencies, GPS, all that kind of
Do
stuff.
you do anything in the winter? Or is it just totally under snow, or what happens up there in the winter?
We don't do anything in the winter right now. Probably about 4 years from now, I am going to start doing some winter stuff. That's the best time to go in and go after like wolves, because the snowpack on the ground, you can get onto the whole pack of wolves from 10 miles away and know where they are. You can literally see, you get up onto the plateau up there, you can literally glass a good 10-mile area and you can find every species of animal
Wow.
out there. So
Okay, so do I need a license to go kill?
yes,
Okay,
you have to require a tag plus a license.
okay, so you tag them?
Yeah, well, it depends on what species it
What
is.
What would be the largest draw card for guys that like to fish, or excuse me, like to hunt?
Well, the way that Alaska works for out-of-state hunters, it's a point system, so it's really neat. I believe that a grizzly bear's like $500. Once you buy a grizzly bear tag, if you see a trophy caribou that you want to take or something like that, you can actually use that tag for the caribou, but then you can't take a grizz on top of it. But you can buy tags for multiple species. So you can buy a caribou, I think they're like $250 or $300, and you can buy a grizzly black bear.
Okay, so they charge you to kill.
Yes.
Okay. You know, I get kind of weak knees thinking of anybody bringing Bambi home, so.
Hmm. Oh, we don't take nothing unless it's way older. No Bambis. For sure. And I'm not going to let very many people hunt out there. It's going to be a very select group of people that go out there to hunt. Most of what I want to accomplish out there is to let the wildlife blossom, keep it secluded, keep it from getting overran like what happens in most places in the world today. I don't want that to happen at all. I want people to go out there and really be able to go out on a 4-wheeler trip and see all the species of animals and really enjoy
And not
it.
kill them, yeah.
Yes, so the hunting's going to be very limited.
So when you said road, you said down the road a piece, so you are cutting all the roads as you go, is that? When I think of bush and I think of a lot of sagebrush and you can't get through it. So am I hacking my way through all of this, or are you cutting trees, or are there some natural paths?
Alaska is very wild terrain. 4-wheelers are the best way to get around, and when you actually, a 4-wheeler trail, you can maneuver pretty good between the trees and clear out a lot of the bushes and kind of, over time there, driving over it a few times, establish a trail, but there's real thick sections that take you forever to cut your way through.
And you're doing that as you go along, I'm hearing that. Is that
Yeah, so far we've got, there's a good 25 miles probably altogether right now that's pretty well cut, but we're going to connect some roads to where there's some big loops that can be done to where people know where the trail systems run.
And you've got to put signs up,
Yep,
so they can someday come back.
yep.
So when you take a group up there for a week, 2 weeks, a month seems too long.
You know, usually 7 to 10 days.
Okay, 7 to 10, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
And is your anticipation to bring couples up, or to bring the guys with rifles that love this kind of crazy weather and stuff, and hot and cold and all, and wet?
Anybody that wants to. We can do anything from just a normal vacation package with them to going out there and gold panning, viewing the wildlife, fishing.
Let's talk about
anything.
gold panning. Okay, talk about that. Tell me about that. I mean, is anything really found?
Oh, actually, we haven't really dug into it. We took a dredge and a sluice out there, but if you pull up that website and if you hit that link for fishing, you'll see how heavy the gold flakes are in these rivers.
Really?
It's just crazy how heavy they are with the flakes. So we know there's gold there. We just haven't went after it yet.
So in the panning, can you pick up the flakes at all, or any?
Yeah, look at this. There's a live shot of some
Okay,
panning here
let's see if
with
we can
flakes
get
on this
that.
site.
Get that up for us. Okay, she's looking for it. All right. And then the fishing. So you've got salmon. Anything else going on in the fishing?
Yeah, we just barely got the trail cut to this lake that's never been fished. This
Now,
lake,
we've got a river. So what is the river? I'm taking it runs more than just close to you.
well, there's the lodge is actually at the big river. From there, the big river cuts a different
Is it called
direction.
Big River?
Yes.
Okay, so if I look at a map,
Yep.
you'll see Big River.
Yep.
Okay.
You'll see Big River and where it kind of flows past McGrath, Alaska, and it's actually 150 miles by the time it winds to where our lodge is.
Okay.
So that's how far we'll be doing the boat runs, which we'll be able to take guests in on a boat as well.
So the boat trip, now they're flying in, so that's an hour and a half or something. But if they're coming up by boat,
Yeah, we can fly them commercially to McGrath, and we can actually bring them in a group in a boat for a real neat little excursion. So
that'd be fun.
first I'm going to test the waters, make sure we've got all the safety precautions in place, and that we can navigate the rivers no problem. Once we get that done, that will be something we'll offer down the road.
Did you have to have go get licenses and go through all hoops and jumps to purchase this property back in the bush? I mean, is that something
No.
very sacred to people in that
No.
state?
No, it's not that hard to go out there. It was privately owned, so it was pretty easy.
Okay.
The guy had actually guided it for 30 years. It hasn't been guided since 2002, so the animals have just started really blossoming and coming back. So
And speaking of that, do you have wildflowers and
yeah, there's different types of flowers and
things that are pretty?
yeah, really neat stuff like that everywhere you go.
Okay, besides salmon, what else?
There's at the lake. We know there's pike in there that are about 4 feet long. We landed on a helicopter there to check out the lake.
Wait, you got pike 4 feet long?
Yeah. Oh, they look like my kids taking off in there. We landed on a rock that was just a little bit, about twice the size of this table. We landed on it with a small helicopter, and right when we was about a foot from it, these pike just shot out everywhere from underneath it.
My word.
It was very, very neat.
Huge.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so now, is fishing, you can just fish all you need it, or what, you release it, or what do you do?
We prefer to, if somebody comes out and king salmon fishes, we don't mind them catching and releasing some and maybe keeping a couple of them to cook, but I don't want to be very hard on the salmon population that does come up there, so I don't want that to diminish at all either, so we'd like to control that one a little bit. As far as the pike, I think there's plenty of pike in that lake for quite a while there, so we haven't actually caught one or pulled one out yet, but once we do.
Okay, so let me see, what am I looking at there?
That's a king salmon.
This is huge. How big is that?
That one's probably only about a 15, 20 pound king. There's some bigger ones than that.
I can't get over the color.
Yeah, they're pretty fish.
Amazing. I mean, it's just absolutely red. And for years, I've purchased salmon, but we're aware they put the color into it
Well,
at some of the markets.
that they put the color into it?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
Yes.
these are naturally pink.
What is that?
They're salmon. That's the gold pan full of flakes. There's actually a live shot on there where they're separating the flakes and getting them to float to the surface.
So
and it just
are
lightens
there
right
enough
up.
flakes that you can actually take them and cash them in or do something with them?
There's definitely processes that people can do to have the flakes melted down and
How
taken care
fun.
of. But
Well, right now, I just had a jeweler on this week, and gold is at almost $1,700 an ounce.
it's pretty high. That's why we took a dredge and a sluice out there so we can start playing with it, and we'll let guests rent the dredge and sluice and go out and do that if they want to really dig in and go for the nuggets
Okay,
and
you
see what
got
they
to tell
can
me
get.
what a dredge and sleuth are.
Okay, the
Okay.
dredge and sluice is basically a machine that you dump the gravel or the rock that you're getting off the riverbed into, and it separates it. It actually pulls all that rock out, and it lets the heavier particles settle to the bottom to where you can actually separate out the gold from the rock.
Not what the pioneers were doing early on.
This one's a little more automated. Yeah, the
Okay.
pioneers had to straight pan and that
Okay.
type of stuff.
So this kind of does it for you.
Yeah, which it's a little unit, but it'll process it quite a bit.
I have to think that would be intriguing to
Mm-hmm.
some people, just to come and pan for gold.
Oh yeah. There's no doubt about it. And there's actually we're going to build a little cabin that we're going to call the mining cabin, and we're actually eventually going to start some little bigger mining operations out there, and we'll let some of the guests get involved in it and go out there and go after the
And
gold.
pay for their trip, for crying out loud.
Yeah, you never know. It depends what they find. I know that just recently an attorney out of Anchorage flew out and found two 80-ounce nuggets just right by the
80-ounce
lodge.
nuggets.
I guess, yeah, and I guess they were worth a lot of money. I don't know how much, but I just barely heard that a couple weeks ago.
Wow.
And
Okay. Let's give your phone number. People are lining up. They're trying to figure out how to go to Alaska and do some panning. Well, I have to think.
So you can see that gold separate and how heavy that is compared to the...
Yeah, I can see that, yeah. Leave that up, Kelly. Is that, what, a video?
Yeah, it's a video of them just panning and separating some of the flakes from the...
Okay, to our
sand.
radio audience, this will be in this segment. If you get to pat.utahvalleylive.com, then you can see what is happening there. I have to think this would be intriguing. I would enjoy doing this. I'd like to fish. I'm not much for hunting, but I enjoy fishing. It is a way to get away from it all. Your brain just, it quits. It's trying to manufacture and produce and all the stuff that most of us do all the time. The seclusion. Talk a little bit. Well, you know what? I need to go to a commercial break. Let's do that. We'll go to a quick commercial break and just listen up to all the things that are going on. We've got new people running ads, and we want to give our attention to that. So we'll be right back.
You've heard ads to send your old jewelry off to a refiner. Stop. Here's a better idea. Take your old jewelry and diamonds to the jeweler's bench. We are conveniently located in downtown Provo at 275 North University Avenue. I'm Daniel Broadbent, owner of the jeweler's bench. We are experienced in selling and buying fine jewelry. We give you an honest evaluation of what your pieces are worth, then give you several options. The jeweler's bench can buy your jewelry for cash now, or sell it for you on consignment, or even repair it or make it into something new. We buy antique jewelry, broken, worn-out jewelry, new jewelry, coins, or any other kind of precious metal. We will evaluate and give you the best value for your diamonds. Gold is high. Now is the time to sell. You need to convert that valuable stuff that you are not using into something that you can use right now. Come to the jeweler's bench for an immediate free evaluation. We are open Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. at 275 North University Avenue, downtown Provo. We'd love to help you soon.
Hello, my name is Lawrence Law, I'm CEO of Vantage Credit Alliance. We have the opportunity to share with you some credit repair tips and strategies, how to get out of debt and stay out. The cost of bad credit is about $12.50 an hour, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year. If you're interested in learning the tips and strategies on how to improve your credit scores and improve your debt, join with us. This is Lawrence Law, and I'm on the Pat Sheranian Show Wednesday at 12 o'clock. Come and have some fun with us. Hello.
All right, we're back. Well, look at all these new people we've got going on. This is fun. All right, I'm speaking with Kelly Clark, and really, I'm ready to go to Alaska. Well, not now, but this summer. This just sounds like it would be amazing. I'm interested in panning for gold. I'm interested in fishing. I want to talk about the seclusion. I'm not sure, we don't get, if we live in cities, even where we are in our valley, which I find a very relaxed community, but we're hardly secluded. Mm-hmm. And I have to think about that if I want to get that far out in what we call the bush, which may not be bush at all, but it's out there a ways. And you just said something when we were off air that you really don't plan on making that much or charging that much for your customers, clients to come out, but to give them the experience. For you, that would be the most satisfying, is to give them an experience they haven't had. Yep. And then have them come back and enjoy it with children and friends and so forth. And it's that's really quite a nice goal to have, instead of saying, okay, I'm going to go pan for gold and hope everything else works out. Yeah, because there's many more values that come out of life from going out there, and besides the seclusion, there's other values that people don't really realize until they're actually there and they spend a week. I have to think people change. They do. They totally change. You see an opposite side of them, they find themselves, and it actually is very healthy and good for them. Getting away from all the electronic stuff has to be really, I would twitch for the first 2 days some without people, a phone somewhere in my hand, And we are going to have, at the main lodge, we're going to have some internet up there just for communicating and that, and people will be able to do that. But, yeah, once they get out there and get used to it and pull away from it, they actually realize how much they enjoy it. And they've got the time of year that we go in there, it's light 24/7. The vitamin D of the sun just really gives you a major energy drive, makes you feel healthy. The air is so much purer. Well, I crave sunlight. We all do. Yep. If we're living in this weather. And, of course, I lived in Southern California and in the Carolinas, and so a lot of sunshine. And I miss that here, particularly during the winter months when it's overcast. Yep. And, of course, today we're having a heat wave out there, something. It's 40 degrees, 45, 50 degrees today. It's really nice. Yep. But we know we're going to have overcast days, so if you have a problem with light, this is a place you want to go. I'm speaking with Kelly Clark, and his website is Big River Alaska, BigRiverAlaska.com. And the phone number is 801-209-2487, 209-2487. Now, when do you start taking reservations? Have you started taking reservations from other than just friends?
We've just barely started marketing the lodge. I've had several people that have contacted me on. I've got a couple couples that are planning on going that we've sent them out some agreements and different things to start the process along. But yeah, we'll set up reservations for next summer. I don't know exactly how many people I'll take out because whenever I do take them out, I'll make sure that either I'm there or I've got somebody there.
Well, that was my question. Are you going to be with them in the beginning?
Yes.
To kind of show them the way while you're training other people at the same time, I'm sure.
Exactly. And then once we get the new modern day lodge built, then I'll actually have a full-time caretaker. We'll open up the facility for year-round. And
so how you have no plumbing? How primitive is all of this?
Yeah,
it just occurred to me as you're out in the middle of nowhere. Is the outhouse?
Yes, very clean.
Truly?
It's a nice one,
but it's out there.
yeah, there's actually a couple of them. And then what we do for showers and that is actually quite neat. People wouldn't realize how neat it is. They can actually go out in our sauna and take a shower if they want, but most people don't. What we do is we have
a sauna?
Yeah, it's more like a bathhouse type of a sauna. It sits off just the side of a little pond. It's got stairs going into the pond. If they want to go dip into that cold water, they can. We heat the sauna up to 120, 30 degrees to where it's nice and hot in there. The water's almost to a boil.
So they can go and get the chill or whatever it is, the blood running, and then come back and...
Yep, or they can sponge bath, or there is a little water bag that feeds a spigot to where they can just rinse off in there if they really want to shower. But the neatest thing to do is just we set out these pans of water, we heat the sauna up, and then we just take the hot water, adjust our water temperature in those pans to what we want, and you just kind of drown yourself and sponge bath, and it's actually pretty neat.
Fun.
We hang out in the sauna a lot too. And
that's fun.
It is. It's really fun. It's a good place to go out there and just kind of relax and hang out and gossip and just get away from everything. And usually everybody, after a long day of going out and seeing all the terrain and the animals and that's the first thing they want to do is come back and fire up the sauna and go just kind of relax.
But, okay, so I need to have it dark when I'm sleeping, so tell me how that works.
The cabins actually are quite dark. So, yeah, once you close yourself up in the cabin, they've got a couple small windows in there, but we either put some blankets over them or tinfoil them or whatever to where you can actually shut off the light. But we do sometimes, we'll be out at the fireplace at 2 o'clock in the morning, and it's just as bright as the daytime here.
Oh, I think this is such fun, and this isn't work, is it? I mean, it is,
no.
But it isn't.
Well, yeah, you have a little bit of work because you're always going to go out and get a four-wheeler stuck and have to get the winch out and pull yourself out and have a little adventure here and there. So there's always a little work involved in getting your luggage in and out, things like that. But it's all fun work.
Okay, this is Kelly Clark is really an interesting personality. Certainly, he's outside of the box, which I find just interesting and fun. He has put this together, this Alaskan Adventures. How expensive? Give me some ballpark ranges. You know, if I go alone, can I do that? Do you have to be in a couple, or can you just join another group?
You can go alone, and since we're going to have people out, they won't be at this actual lodge working. We're setting them up in tent cabins at the lake property to start building the lake cabin next year.
Okay.
But since there'll be people out there, I'm going to bounce in and out a lot throughout the summer. I could definitely coordinate some guests going in singly or group-wise. Cost-wise, what I would do is, with it being the first year of people going in there, we've set it up to where we'll do it on a $2,000 per body basis, picking them up from McGrath, flying them in with the Cessna, catering with the food, all that. I wouldn't really have a problem with knocking $1,000 off of that and doing it for $1,000. They'd have to fly commercially up to McGrath, so that's dirt cheap to at least get there.
Okay, tell me where McGrath is again, from something.
McGrath it'd be just a little bit northwest from Anchorage.
Okay.
So you'd fly in.
So you got to fly into Anchorage.
Yep, and then you take another little jump into McGrath commercially.
Okay, and at what point does the tour cost pick up?
We'll pick once you land in McGrath.
Once you land in McGrath, then now that's your tour cost from there.
Yep, and then from there we would obviously, if they want to rent four-wheelers and panning equipment, all that, we'd have to add some there because at $1,000 you're not going to make nothing.
Right.
It costs $500 each way to run the Cessna just to bring them in and out.
Ah.
So yeah, that's a break-even point there.
Having a hobby is fun for only a short period of time. So you need to have a profit coming in there.
Well, somewhere just to help with some things because you're getting your food in there is super tremendously costly.
So a couple would be $2,000 then?
Yeah, but we could do that. I wouldn't have a problem with that. Yep.
Okay, and so they're going to pay the airfare, but from there on the airfare is covered.
Once they get into McGrath, yep,
Okay,
we'll
then
cover
the
the
airfare is
Cessna and
covered
everything.
there. And that's for 7 days or 9 or 10 days? 7 days. 7 days. And then you turn around and bring them back.
Yep, we'd take them back to McGrath. We would put them up overnight in McGrath because of the way the airline schedules work. They would actually stay there and then fly out the next morning into Anchorage.
Okay,
and then back into the
Anchorage
States.
and then back into the States.
Yep.
You mentioned something about language international, and so are you going to be doing things all over the world, advertising and marketing?
I don't think I'll need to with this because of the limited clientele that we'll take up there. Yeah, the language barrier would be more with the music business that I've got, but this one I don't think we'll need to market it that far.
Okay, so just what's here.
Yep.
I think that's going to be so fun.
Yep.
Did they backpack and walk, or are they mostly going to be on the four-wheel?
It depends on them. It depends what type of people they are.
Are there mountains, hills? What is it
Oh,
like?
yeah. Oh, yeah, it is the neatest terrain.
Okay, because I'm looking at this kind of valley that's down by a river and got a pond over here, and you're in more of a valley, but...
Yep. I think on that site there's actually some aerial photos that would actually show them a little bit of the terrain around there, but you've got a diverse terrain. You're at the lodge right now, you're looking at mountain ranges that there'll be snow on the tops of those.
What am I looking at there? There's...
Yeah, see, that's actually looking from the top of the plateau. So you're looking over some mountain ranges there, and behind you is really open country where you can actually glass with binocs and find all the animals.
Really, you can just look for them, and
yeah, it is so rewarding when you break out on top of that mountain. You come up some pretty major trails in the four-wheelers that are real heavy with trees, and once you break out there, you break out on top, and all of a sudden it just opens up. It's just a different world.
Beautiful.
Very, very neat.
And
it's rewarding.
A little time up there and look at
yeah, this is a four-wheeler actually coming up the top right now. There should be some pictures, kind of. I think.
So, how many can you accommodate on with four-wheelers that you have up there that you will have up there?
Well, right now we've got 4 new machines in there. We've got a couple older ones that I don't really take out too far from the lodge because these brand new machines are just so much more durable and they're well equipped. They've got the winches. They're brand new, so they won't break down. There's no issues with them. So we've got 4 machines that have saddle seats. So if people want to ride doubles or whatever, and then I'm actually going to have the 2 Argos out there this year, and then I'll take a couple more machines in next year.
That's exciting. That's fun. That'll happen.
Yep.
Okay, what am I looking at here?
This is just front yard in front of one of the guest cabins. Four-wheelers are in the yard.
That's great. Lots and lots of trees, but there you've got your open kind of valley areas or plains. Or
yeah, it's just
pastures.
It's real open in the front yard area, and then the river would be actually where we're at from that picture behind those four-wheelers.
I was going to ask that. I started earlier. So the lodge is here. You've got the river running through it. The river starts and stops, and where does it go?
Well, the river, what it does is where our airstrip is, where we land, is actually about a mile from the lodge itself.
Okay.
And we will pick people up with four-wheelers. We keep a four-wheeler at the airport, basically. From there is where the big river corners. The big river's usually got some of the white glacial water and stuff like that in it to where you can't really see in the water. But right there is where another river springs off of there that's just crystal clear spring water. And that's where when the salmon break out and run up that river there in the wide open, and that's what runs right in front of the lodge.
And can you just see all that happening?
Oh, yeah, you can sit there and just watch the salmon as they migrate up the river. And they'll hang out in front of you. And same with the graylings. There's 2-3 pound graylings.
Now, you don't get a sunset, though, right? They're not going to watch a dawn or a sunset.
Well, to a point, yeah. They actually could, because the sun's more, the thing in Alaska is your sun's not going up and down like it is here. It's going more circular, so that's why you've got light so long.
Okay.
So when it gets behind the mountain ranges, and it will do that kind of,
I just think this is great
times.
fun. All right, so we've talked about the lodge, we've talked about fishing and hunting and gold panning, which I think is great, four-wheeling and seclusion. Boy, I'll tell you, that's the best way to get away from all the crazies that go on. And then your future plans are to just enlarge what you have going on there. And then beyond this project, because you've got this entrepreneurial mind, where are you going next?
This, I plan on being my last project, and then I'm going to lay back a little more in life. I burnt the candle at
Both
10
ends and
ends.
in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah, the middle, you name it, every direction. So, yeah, this is my final one. I'll keep my other ones moving and stuff, but I'm not going to take on the weight and the burden of taking on any more big projects.
Well, I think this is delightful. I mean, that you've got enough property. I'm sure. How many acres have you got up there to just have fun with?
What I've been doing is I've been acquiring properties around there to where about a 25-mile radius, I'll hopefully have 7 or 8 different properties in there with a cabin on each one with trail systems connecting them so that we can just kind of rent people their cabin, turn them loose with their four-wheelers, their GPS equipment, whatever they need, and just let them go experience it on their own when they want to. And if they want to be guided, they can be guided.
Oh, I think that is just such fun. All right, let's give your phone number again. because you may want to make a reservation while you still can. And if you're watching streaming, you're watching the panning again, and that's a whole different thing than the old miners who had little tin plates or boxes that they panned with. This is a whole different type of system. That is just interesting. It really is. Okay, I'm speaking with Kelly Clark, and his phone number is 801-209-2487, 209-2487. If you want to go take a look at his website, it's bigriveralaska.com. And if you want information, it's
info@bigriveralaska.com.
Okay, and can find you in all kinds of places and ways. I just love it. So I hope you'll take a look at least at his website and see what he's got going on. I would love, really, really would love to be able to put a tour together right here on the air. We've done that locally where we've gone just down to Tuacahn or to some site in Utah around putting it together for people that have been listeners. It would be really fun to put a group out of Utah County together. And
they'd love it.
And certainly there are people with money here that could afford to do this. And it's, I'm just thinking it's less expensive in the long run than a lot of places that people repeatedly go.
Go to Las Vegas. What do you go through in a weekend?
You're going to lose a chunk of money down there. And but I'm thinking also it's the adventure of something that is out of the ordinary. That is the real fun thing here.
Yeah, and the values of it, I actually make money off of going out there and getting away because I come back with such of a recharge for life. It's just the values carry with you for months and months.
I remember when Sundance was new and people would say, we've been up to Sundance and walked around where, away from the buildings. And they talked about being rejuvenated, just getting out and where they could walk in nature. And then I was involved in a study at Orange Coast College down in Costa Mesa, Newport Beach area, and they did a study about people that walked barefoot on ground, on the ground itself and on grass, and the electrodes that you got from the earth, and how rejuvenating it is for your body. But imagine breathing fresh air, breathing clear water, and being up where you could just enjoy that for 7 days. It would change your health, for crying out loud.
It does. It's
mentally and physically.
Yeah, it's crazy how well I start sleeping after I go out there. I just start really relaxing down and sleeping like a baby, and that carries with me for a long time.
There was a place. There is a place called Idlewild up in the mountains in San Francisco, up in the San Bernardino Mountains, and we used to go up there on the weekends and just walk and talk to the trees and get out. And coming back to the city through smog was, was an absolute downer, but it did change us. We felt rejuvenated. We thought, okay, we can go cope with the LA traffic and the grind every single day. And in one case, a fellow was just very sick. He had lung cancer or tumor in his lung, and the doctor, I can't remember exactly who it was, but recommended that he move up to Idlewild, drink fresh water, breathe fresh air, and see if he could get healthy again. So, all right, they stopped eating all the crazy stuff you eat when you go to all the parties and all the restaurants. They were eating simple raw food. But the big thing was changing the environment that wasn't moving. Okay, in 3 months, he came back down to see this person that had been advising him originally. And I happened to see this. He brought in a jar with this string-looking hanging thing inside of this little jar. This was the tumor. Wow. It shrunk completely. Now they were able to go in and pull it out. Before they couldn't. It was a large tumor. But the whole thing just was gone, basically, because he changed all the stress that he was under.
Yep.
I would market this, get rid of stress, because I can't see where they would have stress. You can sleep as late as you want to.
We'll be out there for a few days and people forget what day it is. They're so relaxed that they're like, what day of the week was it?
And where are we?
Yeah, for sure.
They don't know, and that's fun. Okay, so you can do the river stuff. How about river rafting?
Yeah, we can actually river raft there as well. There's places we can drop them off and pick them up. They could actually raft all the way back to McGrath, which would be a real neat adventure too.
That's
150 miles. Wow. I've got a friend
on
out
the
of
water
Idaho.
With no big waterfalls to drop off and kill yourself.
Nope, there's no big ones. There's not that many rapids, so it's more slower rafting. But yeah, I've got a friend out of Idaho that's planning on doing that. He may do it next summer, and there's been people that's done it in the past. It's just not that often, but we'll promote that a little bit too because it'd be fun.
Whew, I feel like I've been on a vacation, and here I'm ready to face a whole new year. This has just really been fun. I appreciate so much your coming in. Do we have a last commercial break that we need to take here? All right, let's do that, and then we'll be right back with you just for a final word here. Thanks for being with us today. Stay with us.
I'm going to tell you how to shake your way to better health. You need to have the whole body vibration machine. You should because it gives you a no-work workout. This machine works all your muscles for you, and it feels like a full body massage. Whole body vibration is about 3 things: movement, reaction, and gravity. It increases muscle strength, tones and firms muscles, builds lean muscle mass, improves flexibility and circulation, decreases cellulite, helps back pain, fibromyalgia, and osteoporosis. You stand or sit on the platform of the machine and it moves you in a seesaw-type motion, bringing your body slightly out of a natural equilibrium. By keeping your body constantly out of balance, your muscles have to work and react, and it feels good. 10 minutes on the whole body vibration machine is like a hard 1-hour workout at the gym. Call for a free demonstration. 801-362-9552. We will bring the machine to you and set it up at your home or office. 801-362-9552.
Okay, we're back. Thank you for being with us today. We've had an exciting 3 or 4 months on air, and it was a new adventure getting involved in the streaming video. So pat.utahvalleylive.com has been certainly new for some of us. I have had 20 years of radio behind me, so I'm very happy to be at KHQ in 1480 AM. I've enjoyed that. I've met some new people, and we've got the Herald running an ad about our show. It's a 1/4-page ad. You can't miss it, so take a look at it, tell your friends, invite them. And I just feel like I've been on a vacation here for the last hour with Kelly Clark and Alaskan Adventures. It's just been fun to get out of the city, if you will, mentally at least, for a little while. And you're such a relaxed guy. I have to think you really have fun with all of this.
Oh, I do. I live for it now. That's what I live for. I work hard, but I live for that relax.
Well, I just think it would be fun. And so I'm going to give out your phone number again and your website, because I think you're going to have some marvelous success. And come to me by spring, and let's talk about putting something together, tour together from folks here in Utah County, because everybody kind of knows everybody, one way or another. If you talk for 10 minutes, you realize you're related to each other. So, all right, Kelly Clark, Alaskan Adventures. The website is BigRiverAlaska.com. And then if you need information, it's info@BigRiverAlaska.com. BigRiverAlaska.com. And the phone number is 801-209-2487. Write this down, 209-2487. Do go to the website. Give yourself a treat. If you're on the radio, get somebody to pull up the website for you. It's lovely. It's fun. And if you aren't into hunting or fishing, go do some gold panning.
Yep.
I really think that would be fun. I do. I'd love to come back with a sock full of flaky gold.
Yep, and just the relax and looking at the animals and all that.
Yeah, just having fun.
Yep, it's all there.
And not having to answer the phone for a while or think I had to make a phone call.
Yep.
This has been great fun. So for hunting, fishing, panning for gold, four-wheeling, just a lot of fun stuff going on. It's been just a pleasure. Thank you very much for being with me. I really appreciate it. It's been great. And it's been a wonderful year. I hope that next year will be successful for all of us, and wish you the best weekend. Please be safe. Eat, no more than you need to. And come back on Monday. We'll be here starting at 9 to 10 with Monica, and then with Julia at 12 and right through the week. So stay with us. I'll be back on at 1 to 2 o'clock every day. Again, thank you, Kelly. We've appreciated your work on the board, keeping us on, and Kent Borkick and Pete Hansen. We appreciate your contribution to getting us on the air. We appreciate Brad Sears, who has we rent the space from, and our downtown studio. So thanks for being with us. We appreciate it, and have a good weekend. Bye-bye.